Hello everybody, Doug here from 2 Plus Tough, and today we are continuing as promised the process of painting up some Castigators. And so yeah, we're just gonna jump right in. I had started, you can see the color here, I had started to paint up some of the highlights, and then I had to get pulled away unfortunately to go run some errands, but that's alright. But we'll cannonball right back in. So this is a mix of Baraknar, Burgundy, and Pinkor. Yeah. And that'll give us plenty. We're going to go in and do some highlights. If you can hear and see me okay, please let me know, just so I know there's no technical stuff going on that I need to worry about. I'm getting nothing but green thumbs from YouTube, which is a fairly rare thing, so we'll see. So as far as what I have going on in the hobby hopper for this coming week, we got a bunch of videos actually. I have a video discussing some cool ideas from me and a few others regarding some ways to make cities of Sigmar particularly awesome. You're good, we can hear and see you. Oh, sweet, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I need to turn this. There we go. I have to turn the light down when I'm recording so I don't like blow out the white values when I record my face, but I need the brightness when I'm down in the ditches painting. Hey Doug, glad to catch you live. Hope you're doing well. I am doing very well. Thank you so much. It's been it's been a rather slow news period lately for AOS, hasn't it? Even with the Deepkin Fire Slayer box, hasn't been much word on like battle tomes or anything like that, which is a bit strange. But that's okay. We will do. I got my buddies Austin and Tim here, and as well as apparently 5 other people, my 5 other best friends. And yeah, we're just painting up some Castigators for AOS, and hopefully my shields for my Conquest figures will be in soon. Very anxious to get a hold of those. Just because I was kind of on a roll there with the Dweg home, but had to pause for just a smidge. Let's see. Hello, Doug and friends. Today is Wadroon Priming Day. Nice. I had myself a rather large priming day. Well, it was earlier in the week. I think I was out there for like some 3 hours or so. It was one of the few days we've had that was above 36 degrees lately. So I was like, use it. Use it always. Can I ask this? What are you priming for Wadroon? I actually have one of their T-Rex models right beside me that I need to build still. I didn't expect them to send me something so kindly, but they did. And they always say, like, you know, hey, there's no attachments to this, like you don't have to do anything, but I think I want to get some of these projects under control and then dedicate some time to really doing a good job painting that sucker up, because if you have not seen it, it's Orc Striding Dinosaurs, which is enough of a sales pitch on its own. But they have a basically a giant orc riding a T-Rex is kind of like the centerpiece model for that army. What do you gotta say? It's pretty baller. Okay, let's see. Cool, I get to paint my Vanquishers with you. Oh, sweet. Vanquishers. I'm so terrible at remembering what all the... I feel like a lot of the Stormcast stuff is word salad. Vanquishers are the new double, like, Claymore unit, right? That they're rocking two-handed swords and stuff. Is that right? Yes, because Vigilors is the other one, and they are decidedly not that. I have a box of those near me. Okay. I want that Apex Predator so bad. Yeah, they're pretty sexy, I won't lie to you. Nice. Evening. Hey. Zen painting right along with you. Cheers from Berlin. Sweet. That's awesome. It never fails to blow my mind when I have folks from all over the world. Does my heart good. Because I never thought I would do that. Have anything worth saying that someone in Berlin would want to listen to. Okay. Perfect, and one more with these highlights. Two-handed swords for sure. Yeah, right on. Can they be built any other way? I can't remember. Francis, yo, working on my good guy army for 2022. Fire Slayers to offset my gits. Okay, so you chose 2 Horde armies, but I found an old Night Vault box and now I'm painting Stormspire's Curse Breakers. Nice, those are some cool models. I felt like... So with the Stormspire stuff, it was strange. I feel like that's a kit that didn't get the time it deserved because of the way that Soul Wars was packaged and like how goofy they put evocators in a 3-man squad in that, but they're actually 5-man. So people were just kind of buying Stormspire stuff just to fill up their ranks, and so it's a model that you see, or at least saw at the time, quite a bit, but I don't feel like people have necessarily always appreciated it for its own merit. They are wonderful sculpts. They're just cool models. But it was just like, oh, this is just my tax for wanting evocators from Soul Wars instead of like, oh, this is a cool model on its own. Vanquishers, no multi-builds, they get a sweet banner and a horn toot. Fair enough. Well, the good news is you don't need options if the only one that you have is really, really good, and it turns out Stormcast with giant swords the height of themselves is not bad. Decidedly not bad. Sweet. Okay, we just got to build up the blue on their shoulder pads and then do the special effect thing on the weapons. So these guys are almost done. I knew they would be pretty quick once we... That's my thing with this scheme. Like, while the camera was off, I did go in and do my tracing the white armor with my half black, half medium wash. But once that's done, man... Oh, wait, this is the wrong color. I grabbed the base coat, not the actual highlight. There we go. Blue, hey, I just want to drop in and say I'm glad to see you're still a positive voice among Warhammer content creators. Oh, always. And if things ever change, I'll be a positive voice somewhere else, doing something else. Probably online, because I like this kind of stuff. But I haven't found any other game or hobby that I like quite as much. But always positive. Right, I got the Warband box, so unit of blood. Okay, right on. That's awesome. I remember I asked you that earlier. I apologize for not reading it earlier. Afternoon, how are you? I'm good. Good, buddy. Glaive Wraiths, that's what they're called. Really distributed too. I have Dominion from those. Fear of missing out, so I'm doing them as Ben Breck guys. Nice. That's really cool. Wargamer Willie, how you doing, buddy? I'm currently making scenery myself. Little forest, essentially wild woods, but with kits I got at my hobby shop. That's cool. I dig it. I don't want to butcher your first name, so I'm going to say Nielsen. Hello, Doug. Do you ever build tournament tier armies, or do you only follow what you enjoy to play? Generally speaking, I just follow what I enjoy to play, because there are really no events like in my immediate area that I would go to. Like AOS is not as popular here as 40k is. So I mainly just stick to fun stuff. Now, even when I lived back in Seattle and I did go to events, typically I would get really, really in love with like a particular type of unit. So, well, I guess that's not even really true. I guess I have one play style. Like, I don't build necessarily to a particular unit, but I can say that I do build to a play style. So whatever army I'm playing, I like to be very aggressive in melee and just charge straight forward. So, you know, and that can take different forms and different levels of effectiveness, but it's a game tempo that I am very comfortable with. Meaning, okay, I come to the table with a plan. The plan is turn one, charge the enemy, clog their lines, and then sit on the objectives and hope that I can grind them out, and that's how I win my tournament games. And I've done that with Beasts of Chaos, who have some wonderful turn one charge abilities that people sleep on all the time. And Maggotkin of Nurgle, the last edition of them, of course. But you can still do it in this one. You just bring a Lord of Afflictions, and then you can teleport a bunch of boys in from the sky. And, you know, essentially, is it the most competitive list? Absolutely not. However, it's taking models that I like in a game style, like a tactical thing that I like, and you essentially ask your opponent a question. I'm not going to win the event, but I can knock someone down a peg who thinks that they're going to. Because you ask a very hard question. Hey, can you deal with all these wounds in your face turn one? And if the answer is yes, you win, and we hang out and get lunch or a beer early. We just kind of chill and chat. That to me is the perfect tournament experience. And if the answer is no, Doug wins. And that's also cool. So Yeah, I basically just stick to my one strategy that I know how to play. And in Stormcast, I've basically been doing something similar where, you know, obviously you have to have some units on the ground to start. I put all the stuff that I can in the sky. They come down with the Lord Imperatant. He can get some of the units that come in from the sky to deploy within 7 rather than within 9. And I just turn 1 charge. I'm Knights Excelsior, so I can have Paladins as battle line. So I love having a bunch of those guys, throwing them up in the sky. Annihilators are gross if they are allowed to make that initial charge. So I guess to answer your question, I'm sorry, that was a very long-winded way. I guess to answer your question, I would say I know how to make tournament lists, but no matter what I do, no matter what I'm playing, I'm always pretty much looking at the same strategy to win, just because it's what I think is fun. I've never been good at playing those factions where, like, every single turn you have to stop and, like, reassess the board, and, you know, like, that. I feel like Sylvaneth's like that, where it's, you have teleportation and all these kinds of cool things, but that requires you to, like, stop and be like, where do I need to be, like, 2 turns from now? I'm like, that is not Doug style. Where's the bad guys? Straight forward? Cool. And then we run that way. It's what they do in the books. It's what they do in the battle tomes. It's what Doug does. Let's see. Tim, what's your take on the Fury of the Deep box and the Fire Slayer rule changes? I'm going to be super honest. I have not followed any of the rule changes really whatsoever. For me, I generally have no interest until it's in a battle tome. But if someone could explain them to me, I could give you some thoughts. I mean, I know Fire Slayers well enough. In general, anyway. Let's see. Brett, Doug, do you play 40k at all? You know, I haven't in a while, but I do have a bunch of Mechanicus stuff still in boxes because I would like to try it. Like, it just seems so overwhelming, you know? And I know I've heard people complain about the state of 40k. I don't really know the specifics. I don't know if they're talking tournaments or if they're talking casual play, or if the problem is the line is blurring. I don't know, but I decided, because I had a whole bunch of like small projects that were just kind of cluttering up my room, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get rid of all those. I'm gonna pick one faction from 40k that I actually really like the aesthetic of, and I'll just go from there. And so I picked Mechanicus. Just because that to me is, you know, the John Blanche artwork where there's a lot of Mechanicus stuff and it's just incredibly dark and grim. Like, that's, I eat that stuff up. That's what I'm here for. Let's see. Oh, thank you so much, Working Really. Always toss a coin to your YouTuber. Thank you so much, buddy. How goes Legacy of Atmos? New videos were dope. Oh, thank you. It goes well. I guess I could say this. I did post it on the community tab, but I'm having a demo event on next Wednesday at 11, and it's just going to be like, you just join our Discord and you can hang out and watch. And so I'm going to be teaching a few folks how to play, and excited about that. It's a cool game. Yeah, I think I'll do a pre-recorded version of it just to kind of get it out there, out of my head. You know, I put purple down on. They have these like rosary bead looking things. And I put red down on it, and I don't care for it. I'm gonna go. Let's try my fist in red. Let's see. You might like Outcast from Necromunda, similar to Orlok and Cawdor, but more or less the group that Boba Fett hires for jobs. Yeah, my buddy Rob was looking at Necromunda, and that is definitely high on my watch list. I mean, the models just look great. If you're just looking for general denizens of 40K universe, sold. Which battle tome do you think is coming out next? Probably Fyreslayers or Deepkin. I mean, they might even do like a Kaiju double event kind of a thing and release them both. Oh, that looks way better. Yeah, makes them pop. Let's see. Greetings from Germany. Hey! Currently working on my Wild Hunt converted Slaves to Darkness army. That's awesome. Well, thank you for stopping in and saying hi. Nice. One Page Rules Grimdark Future is great set for 40K armies. Yeah, oh, they reached out to me about promoting them. I think I'm just going to surprise them and just make a video doing it. But yeah, we had chatted a bit because they were hoping I could promote their stuff. And I was like, well, I don't have a 3D printer. Sorry, bro. And the conversation just kind of stalled from there. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and I'll make them a video. They seem really cool. I am happy to promote folks who seem on the level. Let's see. Okay, here's a question. So based on this color scheme, what color should the magic bomb liquid or whatever inside the vials at the end be? Should it be red or like a blue? I don't really want to do green. I don't think green goes with what I got going on here, but red or blue? You guys go ahead and decide. I'm going to answer some questions here. I built my Night Haunt army with the intention of having a horde of ghosts and a horde of ghosts. And I still have 70 chain rasp. Oh my gosh. Toss a coin to your YouTuber. Is Doug actually Gerald? Yes, but like after a lot of trips to a donut shop. I absolutely love the good chain rasp port. Yeah, absolutely. All right, I got 2 votes for blue. Okay. Got Ethermatic. We got a Killian. I think I like a Killian more. Anyone else painting with the stream? I'm working on tavern furniture. That's rad for D&D. You know, I'm sitting here staring at him. I think I want to do red. I apologize. I know that I asked the question and then immediately changed my mind. But from this angle, I'm sitting here looking at them, and I think the red would really pop quite a bit. I don't know. Let's see. We'll try one. I typically don't care for when folks are like, help me with this thing, and then they just ignore your advice, so I do apologize for that. That tends to make my blood boil. happens very frequently to me. Doug, help me start this YouTube channel. Okay, so here's what you do. Cool, thanks. Well, I saw a video that said something else. I'm gonna do that. Then why'd you bother me? It's basically most of my life. Yeah, I do like that. Yep. And then I'll just clean up the silver when I'm done. Okay, let's see. 40k seems to be very overwhelming, more competitive and limited in factions without kit bashing. I don't know about the last one. I'm a little confused on that, but I would generally agree with that assessment. I mean, and you know, for as much as I'm like, I grumble about, oh man, we were supposed to have like Path to Glory updates and stuff by now. What the heck? I also can't imagine like 40k stuff just never slowed down at all. And so like, that is just a deluge of releases. And you know, even if you're someone who isn't a competitive gamer that's trying to keep up with stuff, like let's say you own 1 or 2 armies and you have a friend who owns 1 or 2 armies and you're just narrative players having a good time, there's so much stuff that like your faction needs, their faction needs. So many books contain multiple factions. Okay, so holy crap, now we gotta buy all those. I don't know, it's just like I can't imagine. I am painting Blackrock Orc from WoW themed Iron Jaws. I've never played, well, I've played like very little WoW, but that's awesome. Hello from Wisconsin. Oh, thank you so much, Josh. Currently working on my Anvils of Heldenhammer Sacrosanct Army. Thanks for the awesome lore videos. Oh, you got it, buddy. Absolutely. Happy to make them. Sweet. And then girl randomly holding the thing because she doesn't, I don't know. Does she not know how the bullet goes into the gun or what? I don't quite know what this pose is supposed to be. Shakes crossbow bolt angrily at Ghost. It's not working. Sweet. So we'll throw this on and then let's see. God, there's so much stuff. Oh, so much Stonebright stuff. Yeah. They do not want for support when it comes to their model line. Just got my lead belcher here. I'm not even going to thin it down. I'm just going to pull from the pot. We're just going to clean up the quick little edges of the stuff that I just painted. Good. Almost missed the stream. How's everybody? Good. We're just chilling. Not much to miss. Just putting some of the final touches on my super duper OP win strategy that I got here to fight off Soulblight Gravelord players. Make them all weep. Okay. Beardhammer. I love the name. Not painting, but building the sludge raker for my cruel boys. Nice. I have yet to see the cruel boys on the table, though I am hopeful I'll get a chance to at some point. Yeah, let's see. Oh, with blue, I use it for all my magic clouds and stuff. Looks great when washed with camo shade. Interesting. I would have never thought to wash blue with camo shade. Okay, we're good. We got ourselves some done did storm boys. Sporm boys. Oh man. Paying the first 20 zombies right now for you to shoot. That's awesome. Where are you located at, Beardhammer? I'm curious. Is there a chance I'll see you to shoot you? We may have already talked about this. I apologize, and I'm terrible at remembering usernames. If I can't, if I can't attach a username to a face, I really do struggle. They're nasty little jerks. Oh yeah. The So you're painting Stormhast? Did you hear the good news about our Lord and Savior, the Great Horned Rat? Never again. Never, never again. I know I've said that about multiple armies that I have subsequently gone back and played multiple times. But never again. I got, well, unless they change the battle tome enough. I got burned way too hard with Skaven. It's deep burn. Let's see. Oh, Germany, right on. Well, hopefully one day, when I do my 2+ tough world tour. Now I know that he has stuff modeled to his base, but I'm going to be honest, I don't like most of it. I'm going to leave the book exposed. I'm covering the rest of this up. Will it look good? I don't know, but it's a Castigator. I'm not super worried about it. I can get 40 more really quickly on eBay for about 10 cents each, so I'm not super worried about it. Everyone and their mom on eBay has a Castigator to spare. Doug, what happened to your Slaves to Darkness Path to Glory army? It's on the shelf behind me. I just don't find them interesting at the moment. Like, I was having trouble finding them interesting because I don't play... I don't really care for Marauders as a model and that kind of thing, so I didn't want to play anything with them, which dramatically limits your options. because you get something like warriors and it's $200 just for them to show up. And I'm not saying it's a bad deal. It's a huge chunk of an army when you're doing mostly smaller games, 1,000-point rounds. So the issue became all my lists were the same, because just to make bare minimum lists, I don't know, I wasn't having a good time. And then we finished playing all of the Path of Glory missions and stuff. Like, they're on the shelf. I'm thinking about selling them. I don't know. I have a Bone Splitter's army in the mail as we sprechen. So it's like, do I really even care enough about the slaves? I don't know. So anyway, that's a full report. Oh my god, I did the same thing to those bases. Oh, cover them up, yeah. Most of them I like. I do really like a lot of the Underworld's bases, but some of them you're just like, this is so much more detail than what was necessary. Whatever artist in the studio, it's like, okay, nice flex, buddy. Take it down a notch. We gotta actually be able to paint this. and do so in a way that doesn't actually distract from the model, which is the entire purpose of this unit. Or entire purpose of the base is to hold the model. What do you think about Ravagers with the 10 random summoned per hero turn gaunt summoner on disc? Oh yeah, where you can just kind of bring stuff around. They're fine. I mean, it's fine, but the thing is, with all the Slaves to Darkness stuff, in any other army, you'd be like, holy crap, I get free models just for showing up? And then with Slaves to Darkness, it's like, oh, you mean I get a gaggle of losers who's gonna die and get battle shocked away immediately? Like, because so many of them have low bravery, and depending on where you can bring them in, some of them, they will just immediately get punked. And you're like, well, that ability seemed way cooler on paper. And then it kind of becomes my same thing with like horde armies of just, I refuse to play units where I spend more time picking them up than actually playing with them. Good that you only play with what you enjoy. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Simply mini painting, yes. Yeah. I understood his question, regardless. I know it's not truly random. You did. You're good, Willie. No, it's yeah, I don't know. They just never appealed to me. I just think that faction needs a whole new direction. And I don't know what that looks like, necessarily. But for the longest time, so much of their identity was like, oh yeah, you can drop us into any Chaos Army, and in a better way. So it's been on my mind lately of like, well, what is this supposed to be then? Right? And I don't, a lot of people were poo-pooing that change. I don't mind it. I generally speaking am happy about it as a change. I like the simple clarity of like, oh, you see this set of models that looks cool? Okay, here's the book. Everything you need for them. It's all self-contained. They still have the option, but it's a soft option. No one's really going to take it. And so I like that kind of stuff. The laser light focus and simplicity of it. But my goodness, they have to have their own identity before you start taking away things. And so that's kind of where I feel like they got left in the lurch, as it were. Let's knock this boss out. Let's see. Doug, what have you bought to start Bone Splitters? So let me pull up. I'm actually getting my old Bone Splitters back from Jack at Rerolling One, so let me just triple check his message here. Because I'll be honest, I don't remember. Okay. We'll go shared screen and take a look here. I think it's going to end up being 2 Wergog Prophets, a unit of More Boys, which is the more elite version, and 1 or 2 units of the Archers. And it looks like probably 1 unit of the Archers, and 4 total of the big Stabbas. That's what I'm seeing so far. Man, it has been so stinking long since I painted any of these guys. And the riders, I don't think hardly any of them were glued onto the pigs, so that's why they're like that. But yeah, and there's heroes mixed in there too. You can't quite see them, but I do know there's going to be at least 2 Wergog Prophets, and then right here you can see him, the big Savage Boy, the boss character. Let's see. GW should rewrite Slaves of Darkness lore to include Archaon's most trusted commanders betraying him in heresy. I'd be down for that. We kind of already have it, what with Be'lakor making his own moves. That was a pretty cool thing. Where did my... Oh yes, Florian, and I do have the Underworld's Warband. I totally forgot about that. They are mostly painted just in my closet, but yes. But Master Shake, I'd be into that. That'd be cool. Anything that builds internal drama with a faction, I think, tends to be awesome. I thought it clipped into his back shoulder and not like it wraps around to the pendant on his chest. Sweet. I need to clean it up with white. There we go. Beardhammer, when are you on the 2+ World Tour, and what is your goal? Oh, I don't have any plans right now. Traveling sounds so insanely hectic and crazy at the moment with the way the world is. There's just... Oh man, there's just a lot going on in the world right now. And I need to be a part of none of it. So what's next? Gold. Josh. Reading Josh Reynolds' Dark Harvest right now and digging the spooky, scary Sylvaneth. Is it true Sylvaneth's terrain is a hard requirement on the tabletop, or could I get away without it? So, is it a hard requirement? No. Technically, no. would it hurt you to not have it? Kind of. See, like most faction terrain, you can do without it. You know, whether or not it's good, somewhat to debate, but you know, like Nurgle can do fine without it. So can corn and that kind of stuff. It just provides you options and stuff like that you might not have had before. But no other army is as intrinsically linked to their terrain as the Sylvaneth is. That is their, or I should say it was for the longest time, their unique aspect to them. Now other factions have come along, and you know, you got stuff where it's like, oh yeah, why wouldn't you take it? You know, and there's some obvious choices there, but nah, nothing's quite as dependent on terrain, because you'll get stuff like you know, bonuses for being near it, you can teleport within it, like, and again, all those things, they are optional. You don't have to have it, but it's more baked into the war scrolls of individual units and stuff than other factions when you're talking about their terrain. I would say, I mean, you don't have to have like 6 different sets of it. You could just stick with one. I think that would be totally reasonable. But the faction's already not like in the best place, and so in terms of just like killing power and stuff like that, I'm not even talking competitive, just straight war scrolls and stuff. But they do have some cool tricks, but a lot of those tricks, they do require the use of terrain. But I've had this idea in my head back from AOS 1 days when they were lawless times, where you could just put whatever models you wanted together and call it a list, of doing a haunted forest, so combining death models and Sylvaneth into one faction and making like a super gnarled haunted woods. That could be an idea in the future. Maybe a future project I can work on. I don't know. That would be a huge labor of love, though, because that would basically just be scouring the internet for ghosty boy bits. You know, like I would want a mix of Night Haunt and I don't know, probably Graveguard, something like that. All kinds of stuff. Switch to a bigger brush. It's got a lot of surface area. Love listening to your stuff while painting. Oh, thank you so much, buddy. That's super appreciated. Hello, everyone. Just got done spray priming my Zinch after the new Ether. Oh, from the new Etherwell box. First time trying to paint Zinch style. Wish me luck. Nice. Well, the good news is you can't mess up, because if anyone questions you, just be like, oh yeah, Lord of Change. Here, he's in the middle of changing into something new. Can't stop, won't stop. I would argue Gits need their shrine to be effective, especially now with the change in bringing them back. Sure. I mean, I'm not saying that like no other factions benefit from terrain. What I'm saying is that there's, when you look at a Staba's War Scroll, it doesn't say like, if I'm within 12 inches of my shrine hole thing, you know, I get this bonus, but like certain Sylvaneth units do, where it's like straight up, they expect you to have this as a base part of your army. It's not about effectiveness. That was never part of the conversation. We're talking about hard requirements. A hard requirement, by definition, you know, it is what it is. It's a hard requirement. I don't know how else to word it. I was thinking of a Death Sylvaneth conversion as well, kind of taking inspiration from Wendigo, the First Nations myth. Oh, cool. Man, that makes me want to boot up Fallout 76 again. Go Wendigo hunting. I think I'm going to have this little lightning symbol on each arrow also be gold. So, but yeah, there. It has always been my favorite and least favorite thing about the Sylvaneth, because you know, I mean, certainly at the time, I say at the time when Sylvaneth came out, it made them exceptionally unique. And, you know, I mean, they are unique to an extent still with how much they depend on their terrain or how keyworded into it they are, but they've changed a bit in the sense that they are not, of course, the only faction that has terrain. In general, kind of glad I play a faction that doesn't use terrain because I took for it, but and let's see. A friend of mine has never played his Sylvaneth because he has no wildwoods, so I'm making us our own. Oh, sweet. That's kind of you. That's the thing, man. They're such a cool faction. Whenever anybody gets into the game and I'm like, well, you know, what faction drew you to the game? Sylvaneth. Totally understand. Like, it's a no argument situation. Oh, that's right. His other shoulder's covered up. Sweet. Okay, so I'm gonna have Lead Belcher be the frame of this arrow quiver, and then I'm actually gonna use a darker steel, Iron Warriors for the actual bolts. Let's see. Are there any future plots you're looking forward to? I can't wait for Nagash and the other Mortarks to be revealed, and the return of a certain god. For me, big plot things. Well, we know that Gordrak is going to the 8 points. I appreciate that. Because I like when my favorite location in the Mortal Realms is the 8 points. I think it is the coolest concept, and it is certainly one of the most interesting battlegrounds. And that all started with, oh my gosh, what's it called? Something the Everchosen. Wrath of the Everchosen. There we go. Oh my gosh, that took a while. When that book came out, it just blew my mind because that had Catacross there trying to like push back Archaon stuff, and oh man, such a good book. Still my favorite campaign book, even after all of the Broken Realms things. But yeah, I don't know. I want them to do something similar to that again, you know. Lightning can strike the same place twice. Sometimes, hopefully. And so that is my hope. I want more action in the 8 points. What else? Yeah, you know, I mean, technically, I mean, well, so one of the plot points that I never really understood from the end of the Realmgate Wars is like the whole thing started with Marathi ascending godhood. Okay, she says, "Hey Sigmar, Archaon's plotting something. He's gonna try and basically use Varanite to melt his way into the mortal realms. Here's what we do: we go in, we shut down the Varanite mining, profit, handshakes all around, right?" And that was her plan, and that's how she set her events in motion. Totally cool. I understand that. The thing is, though, they only shut down like one section of a single mining facility at the 8 points. So like that's still a plan. Like nothing happened in that book that's like Varanite's now useless and we've thwarted Archaon again. He's like, you know, the dude's been just chilling forever. I think he can just wait a little bit longer and get some more. So you saved the day, but you didn't like save anything beyond that. You know, nothing prevents that from still being a penultimate threat. So I'm just like, I don't quite understand how that was like a resolution. But whatever. Whatever. Hopefully, maybe they'll retroactively write in some reason. She destroyed the mine, and with it, the secret of Varanite stuff forever. Like, I know there was a specific Gaunt Summoner that died in that series as well. And he was in charge of it. But again, it was resource-based. So why can't they just get more of the resource? Have another Gaunt Summoner play around with it. But, you know, they take out a single mining facility and everyone's like George W. Bush on top of the aircraft carrier. Ladies and gentlemen, we got them. And you're like, but there's like a lot more happening. There are bigger things at play, Sigmar. We got them. Oh, okay. Just get ignored. Let's see. Sylvaneth are going to be my first army, and then I heard about the nightmare that is the Wildwood situation, so I went corn instead. That's fair. And you know, hey, corn is awesome, let's be honest. If I had a corn army, I'd be rocking that sucker right now, absolutely. Hope they will reveal the Lady Necromancer as a new Mortarch. Oh, yeah. That was always my hope. I love that character. Still one of my favorite AOS books. I find myself, so I try as much as I can to read all the comments that people leave on videos, and like I still find myself just recommending that book all the time. I'm interested in death stuff, check it out. I'm interested in Nurgle Demons, check it out. What are these god character like? You know, god tier characters like the Mortarchs and Nagash and all that kind of stuff. Check it out. Just found your channel, man. Got that crash course in the Mortal Realms. Appreciate all your work. Oh, thank you so much. That's very kind of you to say. Thank you, thank you. He's slowly coming together. Let's grab the brand Wildwood contrast. Boom. Doug, do you think the General's Handbook is on its way soon? Man, I don't know. Don't those usually, aren't that more of a summer thing? For some reason I thought they were. I might be getting myself confused. For whatever reason, I had assumed the General's Handbook was more of a summer release, like July or so. But, yeah, I don't know. Honestly, mine's been in the corner collecting dust for so long. Mainly just because I don't leave a lot. I got immunocompromised family and that kind of stuff, so I try to isolate when I can. As much as possible, anyway. So, it's not like I'm going to events or anything. Plus, I went to Holy Havoc, and I had an absolute great time. 110%. Also, super beat after that. I was like, I do not want to go anywhere ever again. You know, and it's, I don't even necessarily want it to be coming up soon, the General's Handbook. My thing is, I'm excited to see it because, you know, this last one was kind of Gur themed. And I would love to, you know, either focus on a new realm, or you could stick with Gur, but show me some other aspects of it, you know. Also would really love if the next GHB supported Path of Glory in any way. That would be really nice. I remember the first General's Handbook wasn't just points balances, because that's boring. So boring. Instead, it was like, here's narrative missions and ways to tell a story, or here's a historical battle from the setting, and here's just like way cool things, and you know, if all I wanted to do was pay $40 for points updates and other crap like that, I could just, you know, go play 40k. Have an average day at 40k is the same thing as the annual release for the GHB. Brett, hey, thank you so much, man. Doug, what other death armies could be explored? We got skeletons, vampires, ghosts, and ghouls. Any other creatures or ideas that could be added? I would love to see monster type factions, so werewolves, that kind of thing. That's a good one. I have to think about that. Like, what other facets of death could be explored? Death is an interesting faction because at the end of the day, it's all has to be somewhat centered around Nagash. Right? I mean, it's kind of the system they set up, is that he either allows things to exist or sometimes just doesn't. Sometimes he just kills stuff. Yeah, it's hard because he already has a construct army. That's what I would consider the Bone Reapers for sure. What doesn't he have? Yeah. Okay. Ushabti army. Tomb King constructs. Okay. I'm not gonna yuck your yum. I never really cared for Tomb Kings myself. I don't. They just weren't my jam, but from the way people talk about them on Reddit and stuff, you'd think they were the single greatest creation that Games Workshop's ever made. Right up there with Bretonia. What else could we give death? I don't know. Oh, wait. Thank you so much, Lord Billy. I'm sorry. The chat jumped up and I didn't see you donated. Thank you so much. I feel like they need to make a reason to play Path to Glory. Crusade in 40k has big reasons to keep playing, but with Path to Glory, there's no real reason. I would agree with that in the sense of they haven't released a single campaign book. Like, there's no sector to fight over. There's no motion forward. Like, I mean, I think both systems ultimately are, if you want to play a narrative thing where you keep track of stuff, cool. If not, no, don't worry about it. You know, I don't think they're vastly different. I don't think Crusade does anything amazing that, like, Path to Glory doesn't or can't do. It's just only one of those two options is getting any support at the moment, which is a bummer. Following up on Brent's message, why should it be Cetra somehow? I don't care, I want the real Tomb Kings back. Let me ask you this. Okay. I'm a guy, you know? I like to, I don't know if you know, I swap armies, and I often tell people, if you want me to get into a faction, just convince me of how cool they are. So, somebody, I'm going to open the floor up to any of y'all. Why are the Tomb Kings cool? And not just cool, but cool in a way that is fundamentally different from any type of vampire count army, like Soulblight Gravelords? What would they? How would they be different? Because as is, I do not see enough of a difference, other than just a few named characters. You know, Cetra's amongst them. But one character does not a faction make, in my opinion. So, why Tomb Kings? That's what the chat question is going to be. But Brett, yeah, back to your thing while people are answering. I don't know. I can't think of a whole lot of other death stuff. That one kind of stumped me. Brett, they are the death army with shooting. Okay. Okay. I mean, it's different. I don't know if it's different enough for a whole army, but it's different for sure. Admittedly. Living statues. Okay, now we're cooking with gas. That's a sales pitch right there. The Mummy with Brendan Fraser. See, the rest of you guys are way overthinking this. Wargamer Willie, he gets it. He speaks my language. So Cetra is a dominating ruler who ruled much like Nagash now. Dominant personality. He managed to untie the faction and control it for a long time. Oh, unite. I'm sorry, not untie. Unite. But he's dominant, strong-willed individual opposes Nagash. Yeah, you know, I think... See, the idea of having some other character besides Nagash within the Death faction is honestly the only reason I'm interested. Like, for real. Brendan Fraser's the Mummy aside, right? Let's get the obvious stuff out of the way. But the idea of having another strong Death character... Now, the thing is, in my view, the streams don't cross. Like, it's a Death faction, but he can't work with Soulblight Gravelords because that's Nagash's thing. You know, I mean, yeah, I am very much in support of Death armies that just Nagash is not a part of them. Because for nothing else, you don't have to balance a whole war scroll all over again repeatedly. Could also have a whole army of chariots. Beardhammer's favorite memory was one shot in those suckers. I love it. Sorry, give me 1 second here. I'm just picking some details out with the gold, and I'll be back to the chat. It's the only downside to painting when I'm trying to talk. All right, here we go. It could be done as an army of construct warriors possessed by the spirits of ancestors. But see, that's not different than construct warriors with crushed up spirits like Ossiarch Bone Reaper. That's the thing, is they need to be different. I don't know. I'm not opposed to it. I'm not opposed to any of them, to be honest. I think they're cool. Like, Lord Billy just pointed it out. It just showed up for me now, the construct snakes. You know, that's the kind of stuff that I'm like, okay, this is fundamentally different. If it really focused... Because, like... Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. With Legions of Nagash, Soulblight Gravelords, and really Death factions as a whole right now, there is this huge divide between chumps and big beasts. Okay, so like a chump to me is Skeleton Warrior, Mortek Guard, I don't care. 25 mil base, nobody. zombie, cool. And like terrorgeists, you know, like something huge like a zombie dragon. The Ossiarch Bone Reapers have one of the few in the sense that they have, what is it called? The guy, the Harvester, Gothazar Harvester, where it's this big beast. It's an independent thing. It's not part of a unit. It is its own unit, but you know, it exists on its own, doing its own thing. I think the Grand Alliance as a whole lacks those. And so when people start talking Tomb Kings, like Lord Billy just pointed out, those big monsters that could be on their own or whatever, like the big snake things, or you know, the Sphinx statue that comes to life and murks people in the face, like I think that is where a new Death faction needs to reside. It needs to bring something new to the table, and I think it does a great job if it can bring a bunch of those really thick, you know, monster mash things that aren't necessarily like full Terror guy size, but you know, you think about units that I like, Chariots, the Korgorath. Of course, now my brain's gonna blank and I'm not gonna think of any of them, but that level of thing where you have a bunch of these monsters running around. Beasts of Nurgle is another one that can be a unit, doesn't have to be, or at least it used to be. I don't know if they're single anymore, but you know what I mean. Ooh, Vince says everyone sucks and Tomb Kings are dead. Go to hell. Wow, those are strong words, Vince. He came into my chat with a certain kind of big dick energy, and I'm here for it. But yeah, basically saying there's just not a lot of room design space wise, and I agree in general. I do think that there's room from a modeling standpoint to have chunkier units, but I don't know, man. I don't know. You're not wrong for wanting them. How about that? You're not at all wrong for wanting them, and I hope that you get what you're excited for. Beyond that, I don't know a thing. Get him. I own 9 Sphinxes. I have 27. And cries in corner. No, Lord Billy, don't go cry, buddy. I'm just having a good time. I think there is some space for new factions. Like, I don't think we're stuck with these Raging Vince TM. Yeah, I guess, I don't know. Vince just loves to kill dreams. Yeah, I mean, you know, and one of the real reasons that Jack and I have always bonded really well, Jack from Rerolling Ones, is that he was into Warhammer way long ago. And then out of the hobby, and then when he came back in with AOS, the Tomb Kings were created and then squatted. It's like he played Warhammer way back in the day and currently, but never at any point did he play with them. And so the two of us had always bonded laughing of just like, why are people into this? And I mean, I get it. Like, you know, again, the archers do matter. The chariots are really cool. I like the big monsters and the beasties and stuff. I don't know. Let's see. Lord Billy, what would you do? Mill creatures or something like that, maybe on ovals, that you would then have like a Beastmaster, like invigorate them and they can go out and cause all kinds of havoc. That sounds really cool to me. I'm sorry, I keep getting distracted. Give me just a sec. I'm looking for a gray. It's one of those days where every time you reach for a paint that you're like, haha, it comes out a different color that you're not looking for. So, like I said, don't have deep thoughts on Tomb Kings in particular, but I would like to see something like that. And the main reason, like I said before, is mainly because I want any faction that they add to the game to do just that. Add something to the game. Like, I don't want 9 armies that are just different iterations of the same thing. I don't want 25 mil spam. When I was on Warhammer Weekly with arch-villain Vince Ventrella here, we were talking about how when we were both at the preview when they first showed Ossiarch Bone Reapers, and I was so excited because I thought finally we're going to get a more elite death faction, and that's really what I wanted. And then we walk out to the display case and they're all on 25s, and it's like, well, bummer. You know, because death doesn't have that. You know, they have tanky stuff, they have some, you know, Mortek Guard are pretty tanky. But yeah. I got lost in the chat, so I'm just going to kind of pick up at the end here and hope that everyone's not super mad. Hey guys, what happened here? The vibe's all off, says Doug, leader of the podcast, or not podcast, the YouTube show. I had no idea. Vince just came in and started cussing, and all of a sudden people were crying. Some guy said he sold his army. I don't know, man. You know what they need to do? Roll Skaven into Beasts of Chaos. Yes, if we're just gonna have it out and throw every idea out there, let's do it. It's me ruining everything. Oh my gosh. You're good, dude. I'm glad you chimed in. Because I don't know enough about the faction, but I know that you owned quite a bit of it, as you mentioned earlier. I used to listen to, it's just not on anymore, but it's still a great show. Independent Characters is a podcast for 40K. And my favorite thing that the host would say is, like, when someone would say, oh, I want this army, or I want squats back, or some, you know, whatever, insert daydreaming. He would always just ask, like, well, what are they going to add? You know, and that was always a fundamental question that I liked that as a starting point of, it's not enough to just kind of be a cool idea. It has to bring something. It's like, well, I don't necessarily know what every faction would bring. And that gets difficult. Just saying, we were all these fans when the Westfold fell. Like Gondor, they weren't buying kits. See, this is why I like Vince, okay? Practicality. I am a practical person. People say you like it. Sales figures didn't show it. Now, admittedly, there were a lot of things wrong that would probably led to sales figures being so bad for most fantasy ranges. But, you know, if they ever brought him back in some configuration, you know, I'd happily go on to Warhammer Weekly and listen attentively to Vince's rants, and probably Tom's too, and then, you know, be excited about it regardless. Be like, yeah, you guys shut up. Here's the cool thing. Cetra has a 2-up save. Or whatever they give him, I don't know. It's like I learned when people there was a debate on Twitter that I accidentally walked into. I say walked into. I chimed in. That was my mistake. People were really mad when Fulgrim came back out. Not Fulgrim. What's his name? Who's the copycat Fulgrim in AOS? Can never remember his name. Anyway, the Slanesh guy, hero from the old world. Someone throw it in the chat. Thank you. When he came back, because people are like, oh, I don't like the way he came back. I don't like that story. I'm like, man, this is just how Sigvald, there he is. This is just how like things are at GW. Like, oh, people are gonna buy this. Okay, well, I guess that character's coming back. Why? Because we like money, and that's not wrong. They do in fact like money. So I've just kind of resigned to the fact that someday Sedge will come back. Whenever they have a bad quarter, they're going to be like, push the panic button. And it's going to be like just a big button that all it does is just send an automated email to an artist to be like, hey, can you make a Citra model? But they're going to treat it like it's pushing the doomsday clock or something like that. Mother of God, we've got to push the button. No, not yet. It's so early. We need it now more than ever. Has like sales figures dip 2%. Sigvald the better Fulgrim. I can't argue or not. I don't know anything about Sigvald. I do love Fulgrim though. Yeah, Sigmar's chapter button. Yes, exactly. Pound the alarm. Just windmill slamming that. They just got Jess Goodwin. Like, my God, get me a frickin' nostalgia bait model now. Yes, sir. Right away, sir. I imagine that's how he walks around. That kind of energy through the Games Workshop offices. Just, if you haven't seen him, he's like he's a pretty tiny guy. Seems very sweet. I think I haven't met him. Who did I meet? I met Andy Smiley. He's a cool guy too. Let's see. So just have Cetra alone, be like Gotrek. Forsaken road of discussing Tomb Kings and stuff. Would you think about that? What if they brought Cetra out, but simply as a solo model / nostalgia bait? Because that's kind of what I feel about Gotrek. I never read a single of the Gotrek novels. No emotional attachment to that character whatsoever. I know he's looking for his boy Felix. Never heard of him. Sounds like a scrub. This is like fighting words for some people, but well, he died during the end times. You know who didn't die? Gotrek. Sounds like he didn't need him. Sounds like he didn't need this guy Felix. Which I know I'm probably like alienating half of my audience right now. Of just like, did Doug utter the forbidden words of screw Felix? My God. Felix is the Celestant Prime. I'd love for it to be confirmed, but even if it was, I mean, that I haven't read the books. That doesn't mean a lot to me emotionally. Does Felix a cat or something? Yeah, black and white. I said a few days ago, people love things. Oh, people love things they know. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You son of a biscuit, I'm in. Thanks for sticking around, buddy, and having a good spirit about it. I had one time where somebody brought forth an idea, and we all just universally laughed about it, but they weren't I don't think they spoke English as a primary language. They didn't understand that we were, like, collectively laughing. They thought we were ganging up, and I was like, no. We're having a good time. It wasn't even a bad idea. It was just something I thought was funny. It was like a Marathi story arc or something like that. I don't know. But I was like, just always trying to make sure that everybody's having a good time. Oh, let's see. You got a Killian. We'll need you. Let's grab some Agros Dunes. Green Knight would take my money. Yeah, you know, something that was brought up in the comments section of one of my videos. Every once in a while, it's like, I'll post a video, let's say it's a video about Stormcast. People will talk about Stormcast in the comments, as is the custom. But then every once in a while, I'll put a video out, and someone will just come like swinging left field with a topic that has no relevance and I don't see coming. So I had my video on, I think it was like get start with magnetizing your models or something. It was just something like that. It was a hobby thing for sure. And this guy drops the comment very politely, very nicely, like, Games Workshop sucks for not updating Legends. I was like, my dude, you are having a super different conversation than anything that's going on with the rest of us. Anyway, so I wanted to ask the question, speaking of, while we're talking about armies in the way back machine, how do you guys feel about Warhammer Legends? For me, I don't own anything in Legends now that I think about it, do I? Huh. Now I gotta think about that. No, I don't think I do. I mean, Lord knows I rotate armies out quick enough. It's a dream that'll never come true, like getting a lore video for Gardas. We'll throw money at screen to get it. Lord Billy, I will give you a lore video on Gardas. I'm writing it down right now. Lore on Gardas. There we go. And I'll do it. I'll even dedicate it to you. Which I'm sure at this is less compatible with Age of Sigmar currently, just because of the nature of how the game has changed and stuff. But yeah. DOS's Legends. Okay, what do I need? I need purple. I need Sotek green. Cool, okay. Love you, Doug. Oh, thank you for making my dream come true. Thank you so much, buddy. That was not needed, but I do appreciate it. I will get your video in. Call it a consolation prize for Vince coming in here and just taking your dreams and just taking a dump all over, man. That guy. I always tell him, watch out for those competitive types, you know? All they want to do is crush you at Holy Havoc and leave you begging for more. Oh, duh, I'm a dingus. I didn't mean to do that. I just wanted to put a wash on him. That guy was thinking. Okay. It was the one next to him that I wanted to dry brush. If we share our ideas on Legends, are we going to get killjoyed by Vince? Just kidding. I think it's fine people to use Legends. I don't know any of it. Yeah, I'm the same. My biggest thing, honestly, I just don't want to have to explain stuff to people. Like, every time you game, if you're playing Legends, like, those are rules that most people have not read, right? I mean, you know, and it's just... Whereas now, you know, I have friends, it's growing more and more every day, who they keep up with AOS stuff in the hobby, and they learn, like, cursory stuff about each faction, right? Like, I have a general idea of what Soulblight Gravelords does because I've hung out with people who play it, and they have a general understanding of Stormcast because of me. But man, when you come out of left field with like, this model existed in 1986 and never since, and that's your army, you're like, oh god. I gotta do a lot of talking to explain this. Then again, the legend stuff, none of them have like super complex allegiance abilities or anything like that, so I guess that's kind of a benefit. might be a generous term for it, but you know what I mean. So how much do we pay for a 10-minute Discord chat with you? Oh, none. You want to chat? I didn't realize charging people for the glorious opportunity to hang out with me was an option. Don't tell Vince. He's got like double my subscribers. That dude will get blown up. Man. If it were me, I'd rather just use them as proxies in my current army instead of running legend stuff. That's kind of where I land. And most of it I don't miss. Like, there's some things, like, I do think some of the Empire cannons and that kind of stuff. Man, I wish they had stayed, but meh, it is what it is. Is the Rogue Idol Legend? No, that one's actually still for sale from Forge World, so it is still valid. I think they've updated it. I'm sad the Skyrunner Chariot. I know, man. I was a High Elf player when AOS dropped, and I was very sad. I won't lie. That was a tough one to swallow for me personally. Let's see where I'm at. Let's throw just a dash of color down here. Okay. Those are the best big bird models GW's ever made. I would argue that the Lord of Change is quite good too. But I know what you mean as far as actual birds go. Didn't they make some for Lord of the Rings? I don't really follow that game at all, to be honest with you, but I thought there were bird things in Lord of the Rings. Yeah, that's who gave Frodo and Sam a ride at the end. Yep. But no, the Rogue Idol is still pretty cool. I think I wouldn't be surprised if he got to move to Legends at some point, just because it seems like Kragnos is fulfilling a lot of that role in the army in terms of like being a big centerpiece model and an anchor point for some factions like Gloomspite Gits and stuff. But I do like him. Left in a few days with you, Vince, Rob, Reeling One's crews are my heroes. Aw. Well, thank you. Good luck getting this. Oh, I mean, you don't necessarily mean all together. I was like, good luck doing that, because the Rerolling One guys, man, just them alone, their schedule is insane. Okay, let me see. What's the clock say? It's getting to be that time of month where I have to actually change the water when I'm painting. Okay, I got about 15 left. We can go ahead and get these guys, get his white of his armor cleaned up a smidge. I really just wanted to get him to a point where I could base him so that the texture paint has plenty of time to dry, but I think I'm just about there. Okay. Yeah, it's real hard to get together with all of us, even if you say, fly to Seattle when Doug and the Rerolling One crew are there, and the Rerolling crew shows up to lunch, but Doug doesn't. Oh my gosh. It was one time. That definitely did happen. Definitely. I was like, what's this? One of my hobby heroes is in the local area? I'm pretty sure I have better things to do. I don't remember what it was. I'm sure it was a really good reason. But I don't recall. I'm sure it seemed important at the time. How about that? But yes. Yeah, we tend to well, I mean, heck, with the Rerolling One guys, they just have such vastly different occupations. Just getting them all together, even just to record a battle report, was always interesting. And that's like their jam. That's what they do. I'm painting a Chaos Chicken right now. If he wasn't so expensive, I would paint him yellow and call him Big Bird. Hey, someone online did, and it looks pretty Big Birdy. Won't lie. Okay, I got a question for the chat. Speaking of Big Bird being expensive, what is the price point at which you will not buy a model? And I mean that truthfully. Look into your heart of hearts. For me, I have never purchased a model above, I think 60 bucks for a single. I'm gonna open it up to kit. How about that? So it could be multiple models. So you know, it's not gonna get you a whole lot of Gloomspite Gits if you limit it to $1 per model thing. But like, biggest kit, I've yet to go above 140. Yeah. Fair. That's, I mean, honestly, most of my armies are just dude spam, because somewhere in my stupid brain, I'm just like, I'm not going to buy this $140 model. I'm going to buy 12 kits at $60 a pop instead. Why? Because I'm smart like that. And that's basically how I do my purchases decisions. Which, of course, you know, immediate logic is just like, no. That's how a dingus do. Single unit. Stormcast Star Drake. Yeah, that's fair. Very reluctant to go above $60 in pounds. Equally, the single blister pack, 25 mil based heroes. Yeah, I agree. I'm actually starting a full Stormcast army after buying Krondus and Karzai for a painting project. Well, good news, Jonathan. It only gets cheaper from there. You've already bit the ultimate bullet, so to speak, I guess. That was a kit, and I'm sure people will shriek in horror at this. Games Workshop sent me one, along with the pair of flying dragons, and I just had so little interest in it. I sent mine over to the rerolling one guys so I could get my bone splitters back, and but I did keep the Storm Drake Guard. I do like them quite a bit. Probably won't buy another set. I might. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll do something. I'll treat myself. Depends on how I'm feeling emotionally. I totally get that. It depends on if they hit me when I'm at my weakest. Let's see. 150, 105. Yeah, I get these. I get these amounts. You know, there's some like Games Workshop person watching right now and be like, yes, please tell me your highest price point. The limit does not exist. Here's what I've learned about price points, though, because there's always been, you know, whenever they have a price hike, there's always like, boycott CW. That never works or anything like that. Whatever you are willing to pay, I promise some 40k player is willing to pay double. And so, you know, it does get a bit defeating at a certain point, but oof. It's been such a fun stream. Hope you have a wonderful night, Doug, working away. Do you guys not often just decide based on feeling the box itself is worth it rather than absolute number? No. I definitely have had those moments, and sometimes if that's the case, I will try to get it cheaper. Like, so for example, like one of my favorite models I own is Glotkin. But I got mine used, and I got it for a third. Yeah, it was about a third of the retail price because the guy used one bit in it for a conversion, which was his back. He has like a flag or something covering his butt crack. I call it the mud flap. And because he used that on something else, nobody wanted the rest of the kit. And I was like, I will take that. I need no mud flap. We let these cheeks ride free. And then I've had my Glotkin, and I've loved him since. My only model I have never gotten rid of. I would never buy Smaug like 500, but if they released a massive avatar of the horned rat and it was that price, you'd feel a weakness in your knees. Totally. Man, I just don't like how, like, I feel like I had a whole bunch more orange paints before. And now they're all missing. Like I had Fire Slayer Orange and all these things, and now I can't find a single one of them. Oh well, I'll figure it out. All right, friends. Seeing that a colleague of mine spends about $700 per toy helicopter. Yeah, RC car stuff is ridiculous. Absolutely understand. But yeah. Okay, friends, I'm going to go ahead and hop off for the night. Thank you so much for joining me. I had a wonderful time, and I hope you did as well. Got some cool videos lined up for you this coming week, and I think that you will enjoy all of them. So, I will catch you next time, and happy wargaming, friends.